I'm back with our friend Kelly Shackelford, the president and CEO of First Liberty Institute. We're talking about these landmark religious freedom cases. And Kelly, I didn't realize, but that is great news that is it Lemon versus Kurzman, the idea that a religious symbol is only permissible if it serves a purely secular purpose. I mean, if it stated that way, it would seem to enshrine a kind of prejudice against religion. So it seems just wonderful that this support for a kind of institutional hostility to religion is removed. Let's turn to the case in Maine, which, as I understand it, involved tuition subsidies in places in Maine that didn't have public schools. The government basically gives you some money, says you can pick a private school of your choice, and Maine was excluding using that money at religious schools. So talk about, again, what the issue was, what the other side was saying, and what the court decided.
What was going on in Maine is most of their school districts don't even have a public school. And so they have allowed for like 100 years parents to choose where to put their tax money for the school. They can pick any school they want, public or private, even private schools out of state, even private schools out of the country. And so, but the only limitation, they came back in a number of years ago and said, but we're going to add one limitation. Any schools that teach from a religious viewpoint, you can't choose those schools. So I could say it no better than Alito with his question during the oral argument. He asked the Maine attorney, so a CRT school is okay, right? Under this law. A white supremacist school, okay. But a religious school, not okay. And that kind of pointed it out. You could pick the all-girls school where all the rich people go. You could use your tax money there, but you couldn't use your tax money at a religious school. And that's just overt discrimination on the basis of religion. So we filed a lawsuit along with the Institute for Justice on behalf of parents who had lost the choice that they needed for their children. In some cases, it wasn't even that it was religious. It was just the best school, but they couldn't pick it because it was also religious. And the Supreme Court ruled that this is a violation of the Free Exercise Clause. The government can't create a program and then exclude the religious people or groups with a religious nature. And so, number one, this is a large win for school choice. Everywhere in the country that has school choice, that lets parents choose the best for their kids, it's now clear religious choices cannot be excluded. You can't say you can't have Christian schools. You can't do that. And so that's going to really open things up, I think, for parents to choose what's really best for their kids and make a big difference in the future. But again, a lot of people didn't see how this is even broader than that. And that is and this was written by Chief Justice Roberts. Okay. So 6-3. The three liberals were, of course, who you'd expect: Sotomayor, Kagan, and Breyer. But what Roberts said was, he didn't really talk about school choice. What he said is, when the government creates a program where they provide benefits in a general fashion, you cannot exclude religious groups or discriminate on the basis of religion. So that's so much broader than just school choice. So let's take what's happened with Roe v. Wade and all these communities and states that are looking now. How do I help adoption? How do I help? They could create a large program that provides benefits. Can they exclude the religious groups, the churches, everybody else who's trying to help and get in there and get that money to the people who need it? They can't. This decision would say all government programs, you can't exclude the religious groups and you can't discriminate against them on the basis of religion. So you can see what a large sort of wide application, because there are a lot of government programs that are providing these type of things, and all the religious groups and entities have a right to participate fully in solving these problems. And that, I think, is a big win that might come into play really quickly, after Roe v. Wade and all the programs that are probably going to be coming into place to try to help unwed mothers and all the difficult situations that are going to be out there to try to stand with life.
I mean, I think it's fascinating, Kelly, that the non-discrimination principle that is itself not explicitly in the First Amendment is being very effectively used by the court here to say you can't have first class and second class citizens. You can't make religious people into second class citizens.